Oh no. Let's put the camera on. I swear, guys. Look, clean desk. Hello, 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 everyone. Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. Currently, it is -5 Celsius, feels like -12 with wind chill factor, which means it is 23 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like 10 degrees with wind chill factor. I want to apologize for yesterday. It was totally beyond my control why I couldn't stream. A snowplow hit a junction box or something that connects the fiber optic internet to town, and we didn't have phone or internet until about 2 in the morning, something like that. It went out just after 10. I tried to put a message on. Um, we're not really focused here. What is going on, camera? Um, is that any better? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's a little fuzzy. We're only making master boards. It's okay. Um, Anyway, we didn't have internet till about 2 in the morning, so that's why I'm here today. Okay, no problem, Jean. Welcome. Glad to have you. Just going to do some masterboards. I had planned on doing it yesterday, but due to the internet being down, it was. Anyway, I managed to get my desk clean so that I could have lots of room to do it today. Grocery shopping. Yeah. So, masterboards. Masterboards can be pretty much anything that you would like them to be. Some of my masterboards have the layers. This one has, I did it on cardstock. Hey, and welcome, welcome. So, I'm just going to do a quick flip through of some of the masterboards that I have. So, while we're doing that, if you've got white glue, water it down a little bit. Mine is about 50-50. Maybe there's a little bit more glue than water, but something a little bit thinner. Um, as I was saying, masterboards can be pretty much anything you like. I've done some on cardstock. You just have to remember when you're doing them that the more layers you put on, the bulkier it will be. So it's kind of like when you're doing your clusters. If you've got all those layers, that's going to take up a lot of bulk in your journals. So I don't normally do them on cardstock. It's just that I had some messy cardstock. So what I did was cardstock, I layered map page underneath. I tore it up and layered it down, smeared it with paint, stamped it, put some white polka dots on it. And I consider this a masterboard because this is the base of whatever I would build on top of it, right? You could use it as it is. A lot of times, what I do with my masterboards is I photocopy them just on my regular printer. So the colors are a little bit duller, but then I just cut it into pieces and I use it for tucks in the pockets if I, you know, just need extra tuck stuff. So that's what this one is done on copy paper. It's got a layer of purple tissue paper. I smeared some purple paint over it so you can see where the tissue paper had a bit of a crinkle. I picked up the paint. I put circles on, scribbled on them, used one of those wooden stamp things that Ron made me on them. And that I also use as a masterboard. But it's copy paper. This one, again, I did it on cardstock. I used book page, paint, smeared the paint, stencils a little bit of paint, used big stamps. I did some lines with markers, you know. That is also pretty big. Then this one, I consider a masterboard. It is just collage with doodles on it. Red to Ron. Yeah. My husband's pretty adaptable for things. It's like, I need, or I was thinking, the poor man having to live with me. So anyway, these are just little bits of leftover construction paper. Drew lines on them, glued them down, outlined them. when you cut this up and use it to fill in pockets, it's a wonderful thing. I've also used this for background that I put just like a black and white kind of image on. This one too is construction paper. Again, I just photocopy it. This one, actually, what I do is I just trim the white off. I've got a new printer. I don't know how to print edge to edge yet. I'm working on it. I just got it day before yesterday, something like that. Monday? Yeah, Monday. Anyway, I don't know how to get it full size sheet yet, but what I do with these is I use it just as a page in the journal. So there's all kinds of little writing space on it. And of course, that way the backside is clean. This one is a piece of cardstock. I don't know. See, when I first started doing Masterboards, I thought they all had to be on cardstock. But once you start layering, they're way thick. Way, way thick. Okay, Jean, thank you. Enjoy your grocery shopping. So this one, I put down purple tissue paper, covered the whole thing with a sheet of purple tissue paper, so you can see the imperfections and the creases and things. Then I took little squares of purple that I had put stamps on, chopped them up into little squares, put them all over. Then I did stamps in black, and then again, one of those little circle things Ron did, stamped them in purple. So no book pages, nothing was added to this. Yeah, I know. Grocery shopping. It's crazy. So it's got some, double layer of purple tissue paper in spots. It's got these little bits of, that was copy paper that was purple with the stamps on it and added. So when I photocopy this one, quite often what I will do is I will do it on a page of, you know how you always have leftover, or if you've been to a course or whatever, you've got different pages, always pages. Only grocery shop online now. I don't blame you, Anne. I don't blame you. So I will print this on a page that was out of one of my courses or something that I took. I do normally check to see that, make sure that there's, because I worked with people, vulnerable people, a lot of stuff had to go with the care and etc. So I have to watch the wording. This one I will, I just did it for demonstration purposes, that you can print your, put used papers through and print on top of them. Okay, so these are what I have done. And also, once you cut them up into the little bits, they're very, very interesting. So those are some gel prints that gel prints. Sorry, guys. Hey, Dawn. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you here. So those, I do try and do it on a thinner piece of paper now. Magazine pages, this brown paper that I have lining my desk, because it gets covered in schmutz, and then you just, well, I use it, but so many people just toss it. It makes great background for gel prints. So many people, when they're doing gel prints on the head, we're not doing gel prints. We're doing Masterboards. Sorry, guys. So we're going to use watered down white glue. We're going to have a backing paper. This is to keep my desk clean. I've got all kinds of backing papers to my side. I will show you in a minute. I have brown paper that I have cut into pieces, tore into pieces to do exactly this, gel prints or something on. I've even used this, just cut it out and used it for background. The thing with doing it on the cardstock, like, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the ones that I did on cardstock, when I'm putting paint on, I get paint on the back as well. You feel accomplished today? Excellent. Well, you know what? I'm a day late, but I appreciate you being here. I really, really do. So you get this paint muck on the back. So then you have to cover it with something, right? Or you have to go back and spatter it with the same kinds of paint that you used on it. it's more bother than it's worth to me. So that's why I like doing, thin paper. And then if I have to put a backing on it, so be it. Okay, so I have some of my brown paper muck stuff. I have a piece of a magazine. This one has been my glue page. I've, got some paint on it. You can see where I used it for gluing. All the glue lines are on it. It's fine. I'm going to use this one. And I also dragged out a piece of just copy paper that's, again, from one of my courses. So these are going to be our bases for what we're working on, what I'm working on. Then I'm going to use a variety of neutral colored book page stuff, different font kind of things, puzzle books, books, that kind of stuff. So they're all in the beigey range, except for this envelope. It was white, but I coffee stained it this morning. I just like the print on that. So now this part is up to you guys. I find I don't really like the hard edges, the straight edges when I'm doing things. Many people do. I blah 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 blah. It's not who I am. So I will be tearing those. And of course, you can just use it, the neutral kind of colors, or you can add some color to it. So I've got some book pages that I put lime green dots on with paint. I've got this with the black wood grain stuff. I pulled out a napkin. I thought it was really kind of nice on the neutral tones. Not that I like neutral tones, but I figured I could try it. I'm out of my comfort zone here, except that I got this lime green tissue paper that I'm going to add just to keep my little soul happy. All right. So let's start with this. I am not going to be paying overly much attention to how I'm putting pieces down. I am just going to tear. You can use a ruler. If you use a ruler, it's not as straight an edge, but it's still got a straight edge. So I'm just going to tear. That can just go up in the corner. I'm going to rip off this. I just like the softer look. So that's going to go up in the corner. I was mixing it with that spatula. I'm just going to use a big paintbrush. You can use Mod Podge if you so desire. I was so disappointed in the Mod Podge sticking that last book I did. I just don't want to use it. Just don't want to use it. So that's a piece of that. Let's take a piece of this. That works. We're just going to cover the whole page with this neutral paper. And the reason I'm going to do a couple of them is because the watered down glue will need a chance to dry. You can overlap if you like. We will put overlapping pieces on top. But again, I'm trying to be cognizant of how much layers, like how heavy it is. Hey, Malia, welcome. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm making your week longer. You have no idea how frustrated I was yesterday. Oh, I was so frustrated with that yesterday. Because it's not the first time it's happened. So obviously our fiber cable dudes need to figure out some way that this isn't going to be a regular thing. Because I'm not going to be very happy with it. Yeah, an extra day this time of year is a good thing. So I am just putting down various pieces of, I guess this is more like a newsprinty kind of paper. This one I am just using the straight newsprint stuff on. When I get to the big one on the magazine page or the flyer page, I will um, straight edge. Busy day yesterday. Medical appointments. Oh, I didn't have a medical appointment. I just had a frustrating day. So I didn't quite measure this one so that it's going to cover all the white. But you know what? We're going to be adding paint. So all is good. So already you can see it's getting, just the different fonts are giving it interesting texture. We're getting stuck to the bottom here. It's quite sticky, but that is no surprise. Okay, let's use some of this. I kind of like that. You know what? I'm going to put it over here. And the thing about Masterboards, when you're doing this, this is the base. Everything else is going to go on top of it. You're not necessarily going to see it by the time you've got the paint and everything on it. But just in case your paint shows through, then you've got the interest of the fonts. Oh, didn't pay attention to that. It's short. It's short, like me. Oh, thanks, Anne. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was trying really hard to think of who I could text to have them post on the group that there was no live today because new cell phone, still learning it. You know how that goes in my world, anyway. So I ended up just having a girlfriend post and on my personal page because I had to set up Meet Your Creativity so that things are being approved due to that porn that somebody was so kind to share on the page, on the group. So that's why we've got approval. And of course, normally, I would, just message Jan or whatever. You think I could find her phone number again? New cell phone. Oh, don't stick to. Look, I ripped it. It's okay. It's okay. It's a Masterboard. I don't have her phone number in my new phone, of all things. Like that. Like that. I'm trying to use a bit bigger pages, bit bigger pieces. When you're starting them, you put really medium to large pieces down. It's when you're doing the final detailing where you use the little pieces. There. Here are my number pages from the Sudoku book. How are you feeling, Malia? You've been having such a rough go. Also, just remember if you're using your own prints for doing this, like if you copy something and use it, if you've just got a um, regular inkjet printer, your print will smear. The ink is definitely not waterproof. Oh, look, I'm making big mess now. That's okay. We'll make it go over here. Because remember, it's okay if we overlap the edge because we can come back and trim it. I probably should have had a plastic sheet underneath, that way it won't stick. I'll just grab one now because I'm thinking of it. Piece of parchment paper. So I've just got this little area left to fill in. What have I got? No, I've used that. I want to use this on the other one. Okay, I need one more piece of, let's use this. Let's use this right here. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better. What a heck of a time of year to have that happen, eh? Like, annoying. Just annoying. Now, of course, you can use a heat gun to heat this and dry it. Anybody playing along? You're gluing bits too? Awesome. Big bits, little bits. What's that? I'll do this here. Oh, move it over. Here we go. All right. So you can see I've got a few bits of white sticking through this here, a little bit there, a little bit up there. It's good. We can cover that with paint. We could cover that with stencils, stamps, whatever. So this one, it's feeling dry at this corner already, which is awesome, but this stuff is still pretty wet. So I'm just going to put it aside to dry for now. And we will grab this magazine page. No, let's just do one of these brown papers. As I say, I like the thinner because I like the fact that I can it's not as bulky if I'm using the original for tags or cards or pockets or anything. Yes, people put fabric on their masterboards. Yes, people put lace. That is totally up to you. Again, I am just more concerned with the amount of bulk it's going to add. Hey, Sherry, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, book pages. This is the best way, well, one of the best ways for using up book pages. Because we always end up with magazines with text on it. We don't use all those all the time. And there are enough, every book seems to have a different font, even paperbacks. And they've got the different shadings, right? That's the other big thing, is the different colors of the aged book. Oh, that there. Yeah, and I know it'd probably be just a little bit faster if I just glued the piece that I'm putting down. But this is one of those things that you kind of want to go a little bit mindless with, right? You're just building your base. Just building your base. Okay, so here's the thing. Now I want to use some of this napkin and a little bit of this green tissue paper. Make sure I don't have any straight edges. You just put the tissue paper on after, actually, would be just as good. Like over the bits. So I've got some of that. Napkin, I am going to take a paintbrush and dip it in water because I don't want straight edges. So I'm going to just do some lines like this and tear it along the line. I have already taken the backs off of these. This is just going to go right on the edge. Yeah. So again, just dipping it in water. Found these napkins. I think it was Dollarama. I thought they were lovely. I thought they were absolutely lovely. Okay, so good. A couple of straight edges. Let's get rid of the short straight edge. The long ones. Okay, so that's the best way. If you're using tissue, just use a paintbrush, get it wet. So I got 3 pieces of that. You know, I'm working on my regular thing, 3s, sort of. So this is just wet. I'm just wiping it off. I'll put it away. I'll just put it there for now. And then I have this piece of book page with the green spots. Let's just strip that to pieces. Now, while I was thinking of this, when I was digging the papers out, I thought, oh, I've got great ideas for that green. Okay, so let's start. Gotta get rid of those straight edges. Straight edges. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Somebody had asked me once, what joy, like, they don't understand glue books. They just don't get any joy from it, you know. Why do people make glue books? I said, because it's relaxing. And, oh, look, put the glue brush down so that everything can stick to it. Mm-hmm. Smile and nod. They didn't understand glue books. And I says, you know, I never really understood glue books until I tried or I played that Carla Caged Fish. She did the scavenger hunt. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that, I have to admit. So I did that, and then Um, Yesterday, while I was cleaning, operative word was, I decided, well, I didn't decide. You know how I clean? I come across stuff on my desk and go, oh, yeah, I want to put it in that journal. Yeah. So I cleaned yesterday. you know, you know, I'm going to put that right there. Um, so while I was cleaning, I finished two journals. And I do mean finished. I actually put a cover on, sewed signatures in, and the other one, um, I just added some tuck spots and stuff to it. So I did finished off two journals. I was very pleased with myself, seriously, because you guys know how I don't often get things totally complete. That up there. But anyway, they didn't understand glue booking. And I said, it's probably a form of relaxation because it's just like a mindless crafting and you just do it and get pleasure, you know. Anyway, I found it very relaxing working in those journals yesterday, just mindlessly adding stuff. But I have to admit, it's pretty funny today doing the getting ready to do the collage. I was semi ready yesterday, but wow, have I got a lot of book pages and stuff that I have to use, guys? Oh my goodness. So I was thinking of doing a challenge for myself. Nobody else needs to do this challenge. It's just, sometimes I get an idea and I challenge myself, and then halfway through I go, yeah, okay, I'm done. It's not fun anymore. I don't know how many of you guys are like that. I'm horrible for that ADHD thing. Um, so I thought that maybe what I would do is try and do a journal a month. I would take, and I know we're doing the tutorial Tuesday things. I've got that planned. But I was thinking that whatever I use on Tuesday, I could put into the journal for the month. Does that make sense? Hope it makes sense. It made sense to me when I was thinking about it anyway. Oh, that's an edge. See if I can just quickly rip some of that. See, I narrate to myself when I do these things. What else? What have I missed? What have I missed on this one? Hey, Marty, welcome. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I hope you're having an okay day. And see, this paper has a hole in it. I don't care. It's getting covered up. We're making masterboards today, Marty. We are making masterboards. Well, that's interesting how that's working. You can see with the napkin, the white part of it has gone translucent on me. So you can see the brown paper underneath. I'm liking that. I am liking that. Is there somebody that I haven't said hi to? Sherry, did I say hi to you? Yeah, Sherry, maybe can I possibly, you can think about this, you don't have to agree. Um, can I get, oh, straight edge in the middle of it? See, I'm not thinking. Uh, would I be able to text you so that you could go on to my page, my Meet Your Creativity page, and if I'm not available to stream due to the snowplows taking out my internet? It happened twice last year. You'd think they'd learn, but they don't. They haven't yet. So then I would be able to give you a quick, because I would be able to text. And that way, because you're approved to go on Meet Your Creativity without having to have approval. Does that make sense? Hey, Joni, welcome, welcome. Aw, thanks. Snowplow took out our internet and phone. Took it out about 10 o'clock yesterday morning, and it came back at about 2 in the morning. So anyway, Sherry, if I could possibly, all you would just have to do is just go on to the group and say, Snowplow got Kim again, or whatever. You can think about it. Okay, Anne. So we're doing masterboards. The way I start my masterboards is I just glue down neutral colored pieces of paper as a rule. Something with a bit of color. So of course I'm using some tissue paper. I've got some napkin on there. This is some painty paper, just dotted painty paper. And I'm putting this on just one of those brown pieces of paper that I have on my desk that I spill everything on and test things on. So I'm just trying to vary the different kinds of papers that I'm using. I'm gonna have to go this way. Oops. Something like that. Mushroom robots? Oh, well, I would do mushrooms and then like robot eyes, like in a rectangle, right? Like the rectangle with the two circles for the eyes, and almost like Lego hand arms. Yeah, that could be lots of fun. Just bits. Okay. I think I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it over here on top, just to have them open up. Just the idea of them. Just the idea of those polka dots. Then I need something big in here. And probably another piece of the napkin. Trying not to use really little pieces of paper yet. And something there. We could use napkin there, and then some more napkin over there. And I will put this aside to dry as well. So in this triangle, we'll put this napkin. And then this piece of napkin can go over. Got here, here, here. Let's put it up here. Across there. Yeah. Up here. Would have to go this way. All right. So I've only got this one piece of green tissue paper here. I'm just going to add a couple more. And it's okay if the tissue paper crunkles up a little bit. And 1, 2, 3. Maybe here. See, I'm not using very big pieces at all. I just want little blasts of color. And here. Oh, I'll use this one because it's more torn. There we go. Oh, nope. All right. So I have 2 background pieces done. Oh, a fungus covered robot. He could have mushrooms growing out of his head. Okay. So this is the backing. Let's see if that other one is dry. It is dry. Okay, so this is dry. We can trim it now or we can wait. Let's just let's see, I got a little bit of lift there. It's okay. Just rinsing off my brush from the glue. Ignore the mess on this side. Now I pulled out some colors that I would like to use. I've got a turquoise blue, a burnt umber, and a sun yellow. And then of course I've got black and white for additional somethings. Wonder, I guess I should have cleaned this off. It's gonna have to drip. Okay, so let's just leave that in blue. I'm going to take this blue. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You could do it totally your own way. This is just how I do it. So, first of all, I've got this brown. So what I'm going to do with this brown, should I use this brush? It's probably pretty sticky. I'm not going to bother using that. I'm going to take some water and this brown. And I'm just going to kind of follow these edges. Almost like I'm doing, you know, when we do the aging with the inks or whatever. So this is just a burnt umber, and I'm just doing like a wash along the edges. Does that make sense? Almost like I'm edging it. If I was using markers, or, you know, you edge your pieces to give them. I don't know the word I'm looking for. You're antiquing them or whatever? Is that why we ink edges? All right. So I just want to make sure that those edges are kind of marked. Inked edges, yeah, yeah. So I'm just going over a couple of them, make sure that they're a little bit darker. Want it to look a little bit old. Again, this might not necessarily be seen by the time we've done the other things to it that we're doing. Okay, so we've got that. Pretend we've got it dry. You know, just pretend. Just pretend. We're good at pretending because we're artists and we can make things up as we go along because it's just what we do. Okay, so I'm going to take yellow. I'm starting with yellow. And remember, this is a masterboard. This is just the background. You're going to be adding whatever your heart desires to it. Oh, look, I didn't do that edge. Let's just quickly do that edge. Totally missed that edge. And this edge. Oh my. Oh my. Did I miss any others, guys? Huh. Okay, so I'm just smearing some paint on. We're just scraping paint. Yeah, we could be really fussy. We could paint the whole thing with a brush. I'm just smearing color on it. And we know darn well that the yellow is very transparent. Put it on until you think you're done. I think I'm done. I'm just looking for big blobs now, and see how that brown is kind of smearing. I'm just, whatever brown is left, I'm making sure it smears out. I like the effect. Now you guys are going, What are you doing? Well, now I'm going to do the same thing with the blue. Want to get the white down, or the yellow down first and the brown down, because when the brown and the yellow kind of blend, the blue, if it blends with the wet yellow, it's going to turn green. Not sure that I'm looking for a green on this piece, but I'm going to be very careful and go kind of around the yellow, not really into it. I'm going to look for the drier spots. It's okay on the brown. It covers the brown nicely. I just don't want it to make green. And we're getting straight edges because I'm using a card to do this, which is fine. It is fine. I'm just making sure that every page, every piece that I put down has the inked edge and the yellow and some blue. I'm not looking to cover the whole thing. I'm kind of going around the yellow. Okay, working on blue. As I said, we're not looking to cover the whole thing. We're just looking to make sure that we've got some of this color on each piece. It's just so that when we cut it up, depending on what we're going to cut it up into, if it's an inchy, it would have all the colors on it. If it's a postcard, it's going to have all the colors. You'll still be able to see the book pages underneath, which is what I like. All right, I'm going to consider this. We've got a decent amount of paint smeared. I'm going to leave that as it is. Okay. So now we've got the paper, the book page, and paint. This is just copy paper. It's already getting pretty thick just from layering the paper on top, which is fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take something like a mark making tool, whatever your heart desires. I'm going to use this trivet. It's got kind of like a honeycomb effect on it. And I'm going to use the black. And I'm going to put that all over. Just hints of it. Now I'm just going to use this brush again. It's going to be a little bit wet. Oh yeah, it's very wet. See, but you see how just go over it. I'm going to just use it like a stamp. So you can still see what's happening underneath. And it's okay if it's wet. It's okay if it's that little bit wet. And I'm just going to do another one up in that corner. Oh, that's an even number, but that's okay because we're going to be chopping it up. A little bit down there. Okay, now I'm getting carried away. There we go. I'm going to call that. Okay, so it's the base paper, the papers, paint. Now comes the fun part. You have to decide what kind of focally marks that you want on this. Do you want to use a stencil? Do you want to use a big stamp? Do you want to use just markers and make other marks? I'm just looking for my paper towel. Here we go. All right, all right, all right, all right. So I think what I would like to do is maybe some big white swirls. Or maybe scrape on some metallics. Or do big white flowers. Use a stamp for big white flowers. Or what about, I've got these stencils here. Now, I don't want these things to be really, really big. It does look great when you chop it up. That would be really fun. I'm thinking about what I would like to have on that as and I want something reasonably small. You know what? I think I might just take my circle stencil. Oh, I'm having a problem here. I don't need to see. For some reason, I got stencil going the wrong way. What happens when you just string them? So, what if I take this? Still quite wet in areas. If I take this, and what about let's see, do I have a nice metallic marker? I have a silver. I think silver would show on that. Oh, it does. So I'm just going to use this stencil, and I am just going to outline everything. All the circles. Trying to see what's dry and what isn't. And as I say, this is just your background, guys. I will consider this stuff with the marker. Oh, slid it. Stop. There we go. I will consider this with the marker the final step. Oh, wet paint. No, don't put it in the wet paint. And then we're going to chop it up. This is just a silver Sharpie marker. Now, of course, you could use whatever you like. You could have used colored pencil. You could use whatever you have that you would like to like. You could use crayon. This is your background. Oops, paper's wet. Of course, I could always have gone over it totally with silver paint, put the stencil down and gone over it so that it was all covered with silver paint. I'm just trying to show you how easy it is to do a masterboard. And of course, you're going to do it your colors, your ideas, your styles. If you've got nice little stamps of birds and you want to put birds all over it, I like doing something more generic so that I can put anything on it as a focal point. Okay. Hold it down. Anybody else playing along? Anne was playing along. I'd love to see what you do for masterboards. Throw them up on Meet Your Creativity. Uh-oh. Oh, have I missed any? This one I didn't quite get all the way in. It's pretty thin too, but it's okay. I think I've got them all. I do. All right, let's do the reveal. Let's do the reveal on this one. Wow. What did I miss in the center there? Look, I missed the biggest one right in the center. Oi. Did you miss anything? Oh, yeah. Just the big one in the center. Okay, where did I put the... There it is. Okay, let's just line these guys up again. There we go. Now I think I've got them all. Yes, much better. Much better. Simple, guys. Really, really simple. Now, let's take this wet stuff and put it to the side. And I know it's still a little bit damp, but we're going to chop it up anyway. First of all, we're going to trim the stuff that's over the edges. Now, because I've got paint and stuff on the back, I will have to put another, like a back coating on this, glue it down onto another piece of paper after, when we're going to use it. because unless I'm using it for pockets. Unless I'm using it for pockets. Okay, so we are going to take it, we're going to flip it upside down because we don't want to see what we're doing. This is the fun part. This is the fun part. So, do I have enough room to put this on here today? Push! I do. I do. Sorry. I did make room on my desk. I tried to be really good about it. Okay, so I don't know which side I want to do. We know it's 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to go at 7.5. Because we want to do, I'm going to use these Masterboards that I'm doing today. I'm going to use them when we're doing our inchies and various other things. I won't use it for pockets because, so we have a 1-inch strip for inchies. Let's do a 2-inch strip now. So we need 5.5 because we're going to do twinchies. Right. Twinchies. And let's do a couple of ATCs. So we need 3.5 by 2.5. Let's just do 3.5. Let's move that down to 3.5 for ATCs. So that's 3.5. We'll cut them into the ATCs after. And then I have this piece left. It is 2 inches wide, so I could either use it for twinchies or we could use it for tags. Let's use it for tags. I like the upside down idea too because you never know what you're going to come up with, right? So since this is going to be tags, we're just going to cut it into a couple of tag shaped lengths. We'll do it into 3. I'm not measuring. 1. And let's do there. So we'll have 3 tags. Not all the same size. But look at how fun. Look at how fun those are going to be for us to turn into tags. Okay. Maybe what I need to do is put a paper clip on them. We could use these for tags. We could use them for hidden paper clips. We can decide later on what we want to do with them. I'm just going to grab a couple of paper clips. So that's miscellaneous. This was 3.5 inches. So now we have to cut them down into 2.5 inches, right? 1, 2, 3.5. Yep. So now we got to do 2.5 inches this way. I like the upside down idea too, a lot. Because you never really know what you're going to get. 1. Whoop. I know I do this backwards because whoop. Let's throw things on the floor because we can. Okay, so which was the 3.5? This way. So I need 2.5 here. And then I've got this little wee piece left. It's a scrap, guys. It's a scrap. So we've got 4 ATCs. Wow, you look big. Wait a minute. Are you right? 1, 2.5, 3.5. They looked big to me for some reason. ATCs. I'll put a paper clip on those. Actually, I'm going to write ATC on the back of these so that we know. I have to put backings on them anyways because, right? And these were tags. Now these are twinchies, so we're going to measure them at 2 inches. Okay, this is what, 11.5, right? 11 inches, so we go to 9. Let's do it the smart way this time, Kim. Use your brain. Make sure it's against the sides. 1. 2. Oh, those are going to be fun, guys. I got all kinds of stuff stuck to my fingers here. 3. 4. Oh, look. Now that could either be 2 inches. We're going to have a lot of inches though. Or we could just use it as scrap. So we've got 5 twinchies. This is 1 sheet of copy paper. 1 sheet. Twinchies. So yeah, I could cut these into 1-inch pieces, but I think I'm going to use them on something else. So we're going to get 11 inches. Oh, come back. So from 1 sheet of paper, you can see that you get a lot of things to play with. A lot of things to play with. Of course, you may not want all these twinchies. But how about we could always do like a twinchie swap in my group. Inchy or twinchie swap. If anybody's game. And we would only swap inchies, nothing else. No sides. And 1. So even though it's all the same piece of paper, these are pretty different. You know, some of them are really blue. Some of them have blue and yellow. Some of them are more yellow than blue. So 11 inchies, 5 twinchies, 3 tags, and 4 ATCs. From 1, I'm going to put these in a little plastic bag, I think. I just have one beside me. Maybe not. Anyway, there we go. One masterboard done. And 2 miscellaneous bits. But these ones are really interesting. They've got it all on. It's got the brown, it's got the yellow, it's got the blue, it's got the silver. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to put these someplace safe. I hear you laughing. I hear you laughing. I just took all my empty containers off of my desk because oh, Kim, goodness. You know what? They're going to go beside me for now, and we're going to do that other masterboard. Do you guys have time? It's dry. It's ready to go. I'm going to put these in an envelope. I have an envelope. And I'm just going to put it beside me for now. And then I am going to put it over here in front of me in my books and stuff over there, so that when we start doing the stuff come January, all, our Tuesday usings. Okay, I'm going to trim it down just to the brown paper. But you know how you can hear it's thicker. Someplace safe. Oh, I've got a box over there that I have to paint. Okay, new project. We're done here now. Thanks, guys. I love you. You know that wooden box that I've had to paint for, it's been sitting there for a year. Okay, so I just trimmed it down roughly to the shape of the brown paper. It's not straight. It doesn't matter. Guys, it does not matter. Okay, so now I really want to clean off this and get this glue put away. Sorry. I should have done this earlier. Where is my glue brush? Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll just use the card. Just use the card. Scrape the glue back into the bin. Put that there. Because I could just see me hitting that spatula and it going whoosh. Okay. I'm eyeing that box over there. So we've got like the green dots and some green tissue paper, etc. So I think that on this one, I'm just going to use yellow. No, I've got the brown and the green. Let's use some brown. Let's get that tray back. And it's got some brown leaf things on it. So why not? It's kind of got like a burgundy and the brown and the green. Okay, let's get some green paint. And it's got the circles. This is a different green. So I'm going to do circles, green circles, painted circles. So I'm going to take this tape roll, right? That's the inside of just a regular tape, scotch tape kind of thing. We're going to put some paint on it and we're going to do circles. Oh, yeah. And we're going to put a lot of these green circles on. You know, this is like doing the way I do my full washi tape, right? I do it kind of in stages. It's got paint, it's got paper. This is the base for so much when you're doing mixed media. Many people put the paint down first, and then the book pages, and then more paint. Up to you guys. Totally up to you guys. See any spots that I missed? It should have some. I don't care. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Or I don't know, right? What do you want for supper? I don't know. Let's do some off the edges. Not that it matters because we're chopping it up. Okay. Any place else? See any place else we want to do that? Nice. Nice, nice. We've got that. Not very blatant. Something spicy, whatever. Surprise me. Yes. Yes, yes. I like it. Oh, now I want to do that for a family dinner. I cook like a restaurant for family dinner anyway. But I could give them a menu. And then I could have stuff prepared. That could be so much fun. So much fun. I really like those circles. Now, what about if I took... Where did it go, Kim? What did you do with it now? Oh. As I say, I like masterboards that aren't overly thick. I have this ruler. So we've got a really bumpy, lumpy edge, but I love this swirl thing. So I was thinking if I did that in black, big black marker in various places, that wavy line, or maybe brown, because it's got the brown. I have to get this paint to dry first. That's awesome, Anne. That is awesome. Little aprons. We had a lot of snack suppers. Ron used to work midnights, so he was never home for supper. It was just me and the kids. So a lot of times he would just have like scrambled eggs and salad and that kind of thing. And then I would cook for him at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd start cooking. I don't like the smell of raw meat at 8 o'clock in the morning, I've determined. So, what if we draw circles around these green polka dots with black, and then, like a black gel pen, and then use this with like a brown marker and do some like branchy kind of things. I like that idea because I can go around and while that other paint's drying. Right. And Jean will be proud of me. I'm doing more than one line. And they don't have to be perfect. Am I on screen? You can't see what I'm doing. I am just scribbling around the lime green polka dots. Every little bit that you do adds something to it. Whoop. And just these ones over here in the really wet paint. I just saw them. Well, okay. Can you guys see any? Right here. Right there. I think that's the only one. I think we've got them all. I think we got them all. My girlfriend had a dinner party where she created menus, but she did the menus in some language that nobody knew. So when you got the menu and you ordered, you might get a fork and a bowl of soup because all the utensils were also on the menu. You could pick 4 or 5 things. I can't remember exactly how it worked, but that was a lot of fun. Okay, so we've done that. Let's find a brown, you know what? Let's even just use a brown pencil crayon. I have a light brown. And we're just going to go like this. Oh, yeah. I like the way that's working. It's not as blatant as using a marker. This is the thing. Use what you've got. Use what you have. It's still really wet. Oh, it just smudged it. It's okay. This is a masterboard. Masterboards have interesting things that you have to cover up when you're doing stuff. Or by the time you've chopped it up, you may not even see that. Now, of course, you could paint stencils. You could use whatever you like when you're doing this. Stamps, stencils. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Do you see the brown lines? Kind of hard to see in some places. I guess I could have used crayon, but that's okay too. It's definitely okay. I think I'll do one more this way, like this. Now I think it just needs something on top, maybe with a metallic. That must have been really hard, and I don't know how I would have handled that. Really don't. So I think I need something just kind of little. Something little. But what? How about if I got some glitter paint? Got glitter paint. It doesn't dry very fast though. And I really wanted to cut this up before we left for the day. What else can I use? Do I have metallic? I've got a metallic blue. I've got white. I've got black. I've got silver and I've got gold. You know what? Maybe we should use some gold. Let's use gold. This is called spun gold. It's paint. Now what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with it, guys? How about if I just dip the paint brush handle in and just do dots? Oh, come on. Wanted bigger dots. That's why I'm using the big paintbrush. So when you're doing something like this, it's always a bit of a challenge because it's not square. So when you go to cut it, you've got to square it up first. So some of this will get lost. Oh, totally like being a single parent, I'm sure. And having to do it in a strange country. I never really thought about that, but hokey Dinah. You know, I've my daughter was a single parent, and she appreciates me having being here so that she had help. You know, Ron and I could help her, and um, pick sick kids up at school, that kind of thing. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine being in a strange country and having to do that. Very strong, very strong people, these military spouses. Give them an awful lot of credit. I give the kids a lot of credit too, having to, new schools, new people in their lives. It's a big commitment for everybody in the family. I applaud you all and I appreciate you all, even though I'm Canadian. All right, I think I've got enough gold dots. Depending on how I cut it, some will have gold dots, some will not. All's good. It's fine. Still feel like it needs something. I still feel like it needs something. Yeah. Still feel like it needs a little bit of something. Something. 7 different schools. Wow. That's incredible, Anne. That's absolutely incredible. Really is. Okay, we're going to do this. Just because I think it needs something. You guys, you just go until you feel that it works for what, not necessarily what you're looking for, but it works for you, you know? This wasn't working for me. It needed something else. I'm also giving the gold a chance to dry so that we can cut it up. I'm just looking to see where I think I need more. Something. I like it. Just like that. Now it's better. It's got something a little bit different. Now we have to wait for these gold bits to dry. 18 times in 23 years. Wow. How do you get established? Like, I know what it's like just moving to a small town where I went from, through culture shock, moving from um, one area of Winnipeg City that was known as a tough area. It wasn't the toughest, but it was a tough area that I grew up in. And then we were looking to buy a house, and I wanted to get my kids out of the city because we lived in row housing in Winnipeg. It was a cooperative, whatever. The building, the house had over 1,200 square feet. It was a lovely townhouse, but it was the tougher, kind of area of town. And there was a teenage boy who would go through people's garbages and get like hairspray bottles and deodorant, like the spray cans. And so he would spray what was left in the bottle on himself and then torch it. And I really didn't like my kids seeing that, right? I just couldn't let them out to play because doing it to yourself's one thing. I had little kids. Are you going to do it to my kids? You know what I mean? Like I have. Anyway, so we were looking for a house and we found this place and it was a reasonable price, nice sized lot. I fell in love with the bathroom because the main bathroom is two separate rooms so that the toilet and the bathtub are behind a closed door. And then there's the sink and the linen closet and another door. So I loved the fact because being moms, as soon as you sit down to go to the bathroom, somebody needs to wash their hands. It's just the way it is. So I fell in love with the bathroom. So we bought the house. But I had no clue that this was a very, very Christian community, Mennonite community. When we first moved here, we were known as an outsider because we weren't Mennonite. We didn't speak German. So it was a culture shock for me. 5 years till he can retire, and they don't have kids yet. But that's still a lot of stress, even just being married and moving all the time. I'm sure that's just really hard on a relationship. But like I was saying, I went through culture shock moving 25 miles away from where I grew up. So I can't even imagine being moved that many times, all the different cultures, because every country has their own cultures. Oh, definitely an adventure. Definitely an adventure. Okay, so my gold is still just a little bit wet. I wonder if I could just blot it gently. Or if it's going to make a mess. Let's find out. No, it doesn't like that. Okay, what about if I had an idea. While I'm thinking about it, let's try the idea I had. This has to dry. So when I stripped the napkin, I ended up with the guts of the napkin, right? And we all know if you save these things, it's almost like having an odd sock in how they multiply. So what I was thinking, because we use tissue paper on the gel plate, right? Why can't we, where's my brush, do this? Let's get the greeblies off. Let's take this blue and do it on something like this. Let's move the glasses. Yeah. Well, it smears a little bit, but look at that. Collage fodder, guys. You have to be pretty independent to be able to do that. Yeah, I can see where that would. Wow. I'm going to have to do a masterboard using this kind of stuff. Wouldn't that be a blast if we could use our napkin guts like this? Well, I know we can use our napkin guts like this. It's like having a printed napkin, right? What a great way to use up the little bits of paint left on your palette. Your napkin backs. New toy, guys. We've got a new toy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That one was really wet. Wow. Okay, so all right, let's try the gold. Maybe I shouldn't rinse the brush. Just waiting for that gold paint on that masterboard to dry. So trying something new. So now, Anne, I need to ask you, what does it feel like staying in one place now that you're retired? Or have you moved since you've been retired? Does it feel weird not to be moving all the time? You know what, guys? I think I've got a new toy. All right. Let's not put that in the tea. No, you definitely have to be an independent person. So, as I was rinsing the brush, I spattered. Oh, that's alive. But look, of course, now I want to take a piece and glue it down to something to see what it's like. I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. See if, oh, you know what, that's still not dry. Let's take a piece of this off and play. Can't see that it would be any different than using a napkin. Okay. No, no. Okay, so I took a piece of that off. That is black paint on napkin gut. Now let's take, I'm just looking for one of my previous cut up ATCs. This is pre-cut ATC. You know I've got that box of them. Whoa, goodness. Gonna use this watered down paint. No, it's not paint, it's glue. I'm gonna put glue down. Let's see. Got nothing to lose. It's paper and glue. A little bit of paint. And we've got a winner, guys. Yeah, I could just have put the stamped right on it. But if you're traveling and you want to play, you could have things like this ready to use because you can use dry glue, like stick glue, as well as, let's try a piece with the stick glue. I'm really pleased how that worked. All right. You know what? I know other people have probably done this before, but it just crossed my mind that maybe I could do something like this. Okay, I have a glue stick. Let's take another ATC blank. I'm just looking for something that's a bit more plain so that it will show up on it. Friendliest UPS guy? Nice. Exactly, Marty. Exactly. So I've got another piece of painty cardstock. So I just ripped a piece of the stuff that I put gold on. Just using a glue stick. It's not going to be quite as translucent with the glue stick, but it's still pretty translucent. Just go along the edge. So it works with glue stick too. As I say, it's not quite as transparent. Don't know what this is going to be like when it dries. Might be white. We'll find out. I like to experiment with you guys. Oh, thanks for coming, Joni. Hope you feel better after seeing the chiropractor. So I admit, I really like the way that it turned out using the wet glue. I got it wet around the edge so that I could tear it. So I don't know if that's going to stay as translucent. We'll find out. Experiments are good. Okay, we're moving this wet stuff again. I have a couple of, it looks wet, but it's dry. It's just shiny, Kim. Just shiny. Oh, no, that piece was wet. It's okay. It's fine. We're going to chop this one up now. Of course, you could glue all kinds of little bits of thread and stuff down as well. Probably cheesecloth would go down really nicely. My concern then is how you're going to cut it. You would probably have to use like a quilting ruler and a rotary cutter. I don't know. I don't know how well these cut fabric. I haven't tried it on fabric. I don't necessarily want to try it on fabric. Whoa. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to make a straight edge along this edge right here so that I can put it against the side of the board like this. So that's a straight edge I just cut. Now we're going to go and straighten out this side. And we're going to do the same all the way around. That's a lovely little piece that just got chopped off. It's good. It's good. It's good. Okay, something. Here we go. Okay, so this piece of paper now has 4 straight edges on it. We're going to flip it over. And I don't know how big it is or anything. Let's see how big it is. It is 10.5 inches. Well, a little better than 10.5 inches. So what do we want to cut? Do we want to cut, what all did we say we wanted to do? We wanted to do pockets, but that's going to be folded pages. We don't use this stuff for folded pages. Tags, ATCs. What else did we want to do? My list is upstairs. We've got inchies and twinchies, but these are different. Okay, so let's cut it there. So that's 10.5 inches. So now let's go 9.5, and that'll give us inchies. There, let's do twinchies. So we're at 9.5. We need to go to 7.5. Oh, we could cut some. What about 3x4s? I like my 3x4s for doing different things on. What about a 4x6? Let's do a 4x6. That way we could do a postcard on this. Okay, so I've got another strange strip. Let's use this for belly band. Okay, let's use that for belly band. And this, I just did to 6. So let's do 4. We will get one postcard. One 4x6 postcard. Oh, I could get 2. No, and I usually keep my masterboards and scan them into the computer. I showed my masterboards a little earlier. And then what I do is, if I haven't scanned them into the computer, I'll just photocopy them with my printer. So this one, you can see it doesn't have any print behind, but I printed it on a used piece of paper, right? So let's chop these up. So that was the original. This is a copy. I also use these. I'll cut them into, so I can tuck them into pockets. So that's the original. This is the copy. This is the original. This is the original. That's an original. This is a copy. And that's the original. So these ones I keep just so I can quickly throw them and copy them if I need them for tucking into pockets and journals for writing paper, right? Because you cut them and the backs are clean. I don't like using them for ATCs and that kind of thing as a rule because I don't have mine's just an inkjet printer, so the anything wet makes the ink smudge. So some of them I keep, some of them I chop up. These ones I'm chopping up because we're going to be using them. So that was 6. Right, you were 6. 6. Yeah, 6. Let's do a 4. Do a 4. See, that would be a cute little belly band as well. It would be inchies, belly band. We could use that. Because when we start doing our things, we're going to have a few different things to play with, right? So that's belly bands. I've got 2 4x6 postcards or journaling cards. Of course, we're going to decorate the front, but these are just our backgrounds. These are what looks cool. I don't know what it's postcards. I'm just going to use like that. Or you know what? We could use these as flips. So these are ATCs, yes. Can't remember how big they are. Are they just 2 inches? Huh. What did I do, guys? Because that's 2 1/4. So it's not big enough for ATCs. Oh. All's good. We will just cut that down to 2 inches. I will keep this as a border piece because that's interesting. You can throw that in the border bin after. So this is now 2 inches, so we're going to make twinchies. What's a boca? Boca? The faded bubble things. These it's just watered down white paint through no, I think that's a stamp. I think that's a stamp I made. So we're going to have fun doing twinchies. I'm really liking the way these are turning out. I didn't flip this over. Mind you, I'm not really paying attention either. This is going to go in my scrap bin, added to something. So there are our twinchies. I didn't realize it. Nope. You know what, Dawn? I'm totally self-taught, and I do mean totally. 99% self-taught. I did take a sculpting course. I did take a sketching course, but that's it. But it was just like a night class kind of thing. So, 6 weeks here for this, 6 weeks there for that. So there are our twinchies. And what I'm going to do is I am going to add them to our twinchies from the last set. Bowl cut background. So that was scrap. That was scrap. So I didn't get any ATCs out of this one. I got the 2 postcards. Those are going to go in here. The belly bands, that is for inchies. These are 2 belly bands. They're going to go in this envelope. Oh, it's a little long. It's okay. It's okay. So I think that with these things, we've got enough to play with. Pardon me, when we do inchies and twinchies, these ones I'm just going to do their inchies quick. Okay, how big are you? How big are you? You are 9 inches, so we'll get 9 inches out of that. Okay, thanks, Anne. I appreciate you coming, especially since I wasn't here yesterday to do this. I hope you played along and that you will post in the group. For back, I'm holding a pen and I'm scribbling all over my arm. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming. I appreciate everybody who comes and watches. All right. So there are our inchies. They're not very fancy, just book page. Some of them just have a couple of gold dots on them. Some have more. Some have a bit of paint. But they're fun. Yeah, I didn't realize it. I had no idea bokeh was even a word, like Anne said. No idea. Very cool. Okay, so this one isn't quite as translucent dry, but you can still, transparent, translucent. This one is not. Oh, look, stuff folded up underneath it. I wasn't paying attention when I glued it down. All's good. I can cover that. I will be playing with these ATCs later. And that's about it, guys. I'll chop up these into various things, and I will show you Friday. I'll cut the ATC sizes and things, but I'll still just use them to fill in pockets and things, just because the backs are clean. Thanks, Marty. Can't wait to see what we do with them, once we're building this stuff. Yeah. So take care, everybody. Thank you very much for being here, and I will see you all on Friday if you're around. I'll be here. Have a good one. I appreciate you all. Please, if you played, please post. Hugs to you all. Take care. I've lost my mouse. There it is. Bye now.